Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today, welcome to Final Fantasy, and we have Mono Black that actually managed to win against Mythic Ladder with the build that you are seeing right now. We went into top 700 Mythic with this very deck, and we'll just read few cards, we'll talk more about the deck in the outro. I want to get you in action because the games will be really intense. So Cecil Dark Knight is a 1-drop, 2-3 in stats, so absolutely overstated with Death Touch. However, every time it deals damage, you basically lose 2 life. Then if you have 10 or less, you flip it and you get a 4-4 lifelinker that also has ability and is untapped, so you can instantly block with this. We will talk about it more, you will see it in action, it's insane card. We also have the Darkness Crystal, something I was super excited about. You get 1 mana discount on every card that is black, or black spells to be exact, and if a creature that is non-token dies, you exile it, you gain 2 life, and then you can get those creatures back with the Darkness Crystal later for 6 mana. It's kinda expensive, but the cool effect is there. Vincent Valentine, this is a 4 mana 2-2, I know, but whenever a creature dies for your opponent, you put this many +1/+1 counters that the creature you killed had power. And then when it attacks, it transforms, keeping the counters, so you get the trample, lifelink on a pretty statted creature. So that's the idea, and of course, the Zodiark, the Umbral God, 5 mana, indestructible god that gets bigger as your opponent sacrifices creatures, and when this enters, each player sacrifices half of non-god creatures. However, it's rounded down, very important. And guys, we'll talk about deck more in the outro. I want to see the action, and yeah, subscribe if you enjoy, because making this video on the same day you are seeing it in Mythic was a ton of work, but I hope you enjoy it and I hope you will like it. With Cecil you always have decent early game, man. And let's check the priority. Nothing. So it's probably not. But by the way, Burst Lightning does not kill this. So if they did not have priority earlier, and now they have, that means Monster Strike or some pump spell. So we know it's, you know, mono red aggro with random color. This one uses green. Let's go for the black mana. I think we have to go for Duress and probably into double Duress if we can find targets. Here's Manual Bomb. That's how we do it. And I will target this opponent. A Seed of Hope is an incredible card. Man, I've seen this on turn 1 already activating Delirium. If you hit right, you can actually do it. And I think we keep this so we can block. The idea on this card was mostly to just be blocking, because it's so overstated, and with Death Touch it always takes a response. But sometimes you can actually, you know, get away with attacking. Or you can just, you know, try to defend, get max value from this, and when you are at around 10, you just swing once and then transform it, so you don't really lose too much. Of course, Fear of Missing Out will cycle the cards, and as you can see, their 2-drop cannot go through my 1-drop. And this is the power of this card. And now that means we can also go for Lily. I'm not going for the Sanctuaries unless I have to. Theoretically, you can draw 3 swamps and a god, or sorry, 2 swamps and a god, so it's just better. Alright, I could start hitting the creatures or hand.
And you think you can win?
Hand is probably pretty decent hit. We're also stuck loyalty. This is risky, but I think it might be better. And I'm not sure if you hear, but I'm so hungry I couldn't eat, but I need to make content. This was such a good decision, man. Monster Strike is insane here. Haste. They don't have Delirium yet. They can attack with this though, that's a problem. Okay, they attacked with everything. I pretty like it, man. That means a free trade. It's worth losing some life. Look at this, our 1-drop is literally terrorizing the whole board right now. Okay, we go this. I could go for the Bargain for something big, like, you know, some 4-drop. Okay, I think we should win this game from here. They have 1 random draw. We could go Lily. They sacrifice Fear, and we can keep trading, you know, 1 for 1 here. Not bad. I think we have to go for Shelly. It's really so, it's literally 8 mana Sheoldred. If I had mana, I would go for this. But I just don't have enough mana. Yeah, I think Sheoldred is the best, man. Because we need life gain, and it's so hard for them to remove. And so of course chill, that means Fear of Missing Out cannot easily... This draw will decide the game. If they get good draw, they win. If they get bad draw like a land, they lose, I think. Okay, they are going for tons of damage. Bro, it's already second Monstrous Rage. They really shouldn't have more. They have also this other Monstrous Rage. It really feels that they drew the card. But I have to... This is the right play. If they drew the card, they are just good at Magic, you know? If that was a land, they are completely gone, because we play Sheoldred and they cannot recover. They actually got it. This also gives first strike. This is the best draw of the whole deck. It's kinda, you know, not great. I'm not super happy about this, because I think we're super ahead and this draw literally won them the game. But with Shelly, there's still hope. There is still hope, I think. Because whatever they will... If they get another top deck, that will close the game. Now we are behind, but we still can fight it. One of the remaining two in the whole deck. We're still not dead for some crazy reason. So the game is somehow still on, but the amount of advantage they got from those two last draws is insane. They literally beat our strategy with them. So now the first draw from the top. Can we at least get this one to whiff? Or is it a creature? They need a creature right now. Something that creates a creature in the board. This is their best case scenario. Of course, Pump Spell is absolutely useless right now. Bro, if we can still win... Oh no. You know what has to happen, guys. I actually cannot play this. This might be a bait, it's still worth it. Even if they cast something in response... Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Because with Demon we are life gaining. Life gain and card advantage, this is what we need. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And you kinda need to play Sanctuaries if you are going for Annex. Unfortunately, this mana won't be super perfect. We could go Slasher. I'll be honest, I will play like this. Because if we get this once or twice, the game is ours. And I will actually wait with attack. Because next turn we can get Sanctuary and next turn we will have a blocker. See? You don't need to be aggressive. Bro, how did we ever win this game? Alright, I'll take the win. Bro, I tell you, I already love this card. This card is so insanely powerful so far. Like, this is why it's in the deck. I didn't even assume to attack with it. I wanted just to have a 1-drop that trades against, you guessed it, a red creature that has infinite stats. This alone stopped them so hard here. Like, they would just get a free trade normally. Now if they play a 2-drop and tap out, they cannot attack anymore. Bro, they are literally bouncing our 1-drops because they are scared of it. Oh my god, that's crazy. And of course they will deal on top 6 damage on turn 2. And there's nothing wrong with it. So, okay, how do we play this? I could get rid of the creature. It's pretty decent. We have Beseech the Mirror. I think we need to plan few turns ahead. So if I know where to run here or Breaker, I can bargain later. Turn 3 will be Slasher. I think it's better to kill the red creature than play a non-red creature. And I think this is probably a good target. Like, nowhere to run should hit most of their deck. And I don't plan on discarding, so, right. And don't forget, we are playing this game on the draw, which is like the hardcore mode of the game, basically. Alright, they want to hit a land into 1-drop, preferably a creature. That's their best case scenario. Let's see if they are good at enough to do it. No, Opt is still decent, but they're not getting any prowess value. So right now it's more of a 1-for-1 with upgraded quality. So it's not what they are looking for, really. In this deck, unless you have Annex, you want to play black mana first. And we could just go this into Slasher. We are close to flipping. But I will risk the setup. I know, I will play I will play a 3-drop. This is super scary for me. Especially that they have Slick Shots. Okay, stock up. So that means the next turn will be absolutely devastating. We need to be careful. Man, this will be so hard to play the Crystal. But if we can set up the Crystal... Okay, I will decide after the next draw. For example, you can play Crystal as the 5-drop. You play this into Removal. And that's really good. I think this is what we will do. I think this is exactly what we'll do. So let's swing. See if our opponent reacts to this. Yep. Doesn't matter. And now we make a great... you know what? We might draw a God. So let's still play like this. I could even Beseech the Mirror on something. Like Vincent. Okay, sorry, I need to think. Vincent actually can close the game on the next turn. And I think we just go with this. I think it's better. Also, if they try to burn us in some sneaky way, we can always transfer. I don't think we will attack with this. I think this will be a blocker. Because then Slasher can keep attacking and this one protects us. And man, this is so cheap. It's 1 mana. All of this for 1 mana. Here's Cory, everyone's favorite. Now you will see, like, basically we got Cory last set and now we will get Vivi. So, yep, this will be rough. Alright, not a creature though. Of course they got a free creature. But let's see what the board will look like after this turn. They cannot really attack with... Okay, they cannot really attack. And another... Okay, I need to talk about it. So you appreciate how insane this card is. Right now, if that was a 1-2, they would not need to pump. They would just wait until this is lost. Now they need to pump because they are losing the creature, which means that I will get a 2-for-1. Normally that would not be the case. See? And this is how you win the game, basically. Because this is so overstated that it actually requires a strong answer just to, you know, do anything. So now we can go for crazy stuff. Alright. We can go with Chris. Bro. We could transform Cecil if we are brave enough. Am I really brave enough? So we can attack, get to 9 and get a lifelinker. It's getting punished if they have flyer that this cannot block. Man, this is actually not over yet. So I can deal 4 damage. I can kill them at the upkeep with Shelly. I think this is the play. Right? Because they go to 4, then it's halved, it's 2, and then they die. Alright, so we attack first. Bro, this would be close. I don't think they can kill Shelly at instant speed. This is transformed, so it's a great blocker. And this is the final blow. They don't have instants, they die, as they should. Man, we got the number! And now this is where the problem starts. Because we can kill creatures, but now they can create every turn extra creature for free, and those extra creatures will overwhelm us in like 4 turns or something. So I can keep trading 1 for 1, but they get always better trades than this. And there's honestly not much you can do about it. The card is just insane. Alright. Swing. What is the next turn play? I kinda want to go for Annex. Can we win this game without Annex? Because I need to kill this. So I can target this only if I spend next turn killing this. So I could go nowhere to run into Momentum Breaker and then force them to double spell again. I mean, it's something. This also means we go nowhere to run, because it hits nicely. Those creatures have prowess, which means that if they have open mana, they can get to 4 toughness very easily. Alright, this will be very scary. I need to keep clearing the board. So normally, this would end. They played the 2-drop, they got the 2-drop, we killed it. Normally that's the end of the exchange. However, this is the first turn when they will get a free creature, and you will see how quickly it overwhelms you. And I'm kinda playing into them not having double spell forever. Every turn they have, they are getting ahead. They got ahead. And see, this is the first creature we actually cannot answer. This is the free creature. We can answer Swift Spear. So this is the power of Cory. It just creates stuff from nothing. And then you fall on value, as well as on tempo. However, we have double removal. So we have 2 ways. We either go Shelly and hope they cannot remove it. I mean, we can tank 1 hit probably. So maybe you can set it up and go for mass removal on the next turn. The other choice is to go mass removal right now and hope they... But they will just replay the same board forever. That's the problem. Normally aggro decks are out of value at this point, and you just kill creatures and they are done. But this deck never gets out of gas. They always have more. They actually can outvalue a lot of decks, including non-aggro decks. I know, because I played this deck and I actually outvalued a lot of like mid-range and control decks even. Oh, this is the worst case scenario for us. We didn't even get the fish, so that was extremely good for our opponent. The only downside for them is that they didn't use this to trigger Cory nor Prowess. So those two last cards are super important. Okay, I was scared it's a stock up. See? Remember when I said that those two those extra creatures will overwhelm us? This is the turn, you can feel it. If not Cory, this would not happen. So just showing you what is the reason that you see all those red decks. They have simply stronger cards. So we could go for the demon. Is Shelly better? I think Ritual Chamber is better in every way. If they whiff, we win. The other choice is to kill two creatures, but then we don't make any progress, and they still can kill us. So I think we need to take this risk on this one turn. On the next turn, we can activate Annex and activate removal, and that should be enough to close the game. This card will decide who wins. We win. They didn't get the card to win the game. Alright, with this we should quickly stabilize. And that means we can start removing creatures on top of defending. And every single turn will start being extremely favored toward us. Yep, you don't need to attack. If you attack, you will die. Every turn you are more and more ahead, and when we go Shelly on top of Annex, this is probably, like, they will scoop on this turn or the next one. This is a nice one. They can equip it, but they cannot double spell, which is like the main sauce. If they got Sleight of Hand, they would probably win this game. But here, there's not much they can do. I think they will swing all here. Yeah, this is correct choice. This is the only thing. See, that's why it was so important to have double spell on this turn. I honestly think we are playing it very nicely so far. Now we go here, and now we will live game with Shelly, so much they cannot burn us anymore. Thank you, Vincent, for showing up. You rock. You're the best. Now we chill. Every turn we are live gaining more and more, we are getting more and more cards, and now we have also Momentum Breaker that can live gain for 3, we're at 12, they cannot go through, they will scoop probably on this turn, or on the next one. Sleight of Hand is a very good draw, but I don't think... They need to chain a lot of those Sleight of Hands in a row. We can kill one creature. Yeah, like... If they chained like 4 in a row into stock up and stuff, they maybe could still win, but it would be really tall order. Alright, I guess we're ranking up. Alright, I mean, you know the drill. Cecil, go deal some damage and we'll protect you with removal. Man, this card, man, we can even make probably like Rakdos aggro with this. I think it could be really decent. Let's start hitting the face. So this is an aggro deck, that means they will have creatures. Bro, this will be interesting. I normally would not play aggressively against this deck, but here I will. Swing. I want to get into the, you know, the transformation part. I think our opponent will really help us with this. That's my feeling. So I think we chill with... I could play Lily, but I expect they will play something, so let's chill. This type of deck always uses like prowess creatures and stuff. Yep, here's the prowess creature. Unfortunately, they have the option to plot. Where are my control cards that can be plotted? Like, I want to plot Liliana. Well, I don't have this option, unfortunately. Alright, so... I think this might be the turn when they go really hard. So do we want to keep doing... I think we go with this and we see what's up. With this we will get way better information, how much damage they can deal on one turn. Oh my god, they have... Oh my god, this is insane. Oh my god, so this makes a Dread, and this makes a 2-2. So obviously this one is better. Well, at least we know we can attack, because it's not like we'll block something here. Of course, the punishment for this attack is our opponent getting a 1-drop like Swift Spear, but we cannot play around it. I expect Slickshot with infinite pump. Infinite pump. Cheek. That's a punish. Now they can split all of this. And they can actually pump... Oh my god, this is probably the worst case scenario for us. Yep, I knew that if they draw it, this would be so good for them. However, that I think we can still recover, guys. I know it feels unwinnable at this point, but I promise you, we can actually win this. So we go for this. They pumped completely correct, unfortunately, so they split the damage in such a way that you don't have a good block. However, that means we can kill the last creature. Cecil, I know they don't believe in you, but I do. Show them how insane you are. And we go with this. We go with Lily. I could actually start discarding cards, but I think it's still better to do this. This gives haste. Yep, that gives haste. I really don't want to block. And this one also gives haste. But they can double spell if they hit a 1-drop. I will go for it. I think it's worth it, especially that we also activate the speed. So it might be relevant later. Cecil, show everyone that you are not to be trifled with. This lifelink is actually insane, by the way. They have 1 draw. If they don't draw a creature, I think we win the game on the spot. They have a creature. And it's also a lethal. No? It's not a lethal. Okay, guys. This is still insane draw. If they didn't draw this, the game would be over. But now we actually can fight. Go. I believe in you. Carry us through this mono red hell. Alright. You have ability? Alright, right. I kinda forgot about this part. Up to 8. We also have Momentum Breaker, don't forget. And we have Slasher to keep blocking whatever they will draw from the top. Because you know they will. Alright, and we're at 10 life already. Potentially. We are close to killing them on the next turn. Let's see how much they can pump. Man, this could be enough. I think they... But no, in order to harmonize, they need to tap the creature. And I told you, Cecil will win this game single-handedly. We need to get into 5 mana, guys. Is this even possible? Let's go for this. We absolutely have to Duress. We don't have much time because we are on the verge of dying. Easy target. So this will be... Is it? With 4 new cards from the new set? Like... Last set we had Cory, now we have Vivi, and yeah, the rest of the deck is literally the same. This card was basically created for this deck to slot perfectly instantly. So we have 1 removal, we kinda need to, oh man, do a lot with it. We have Vincent, but we don't have mana to cast it. We are on the draw, so it will be hard. Alright, this is kinda okay. That means we get a really nice kill here. I could prevent more damage. Do we want to go for the Slick Shot? Okay, guys. I think we are doing it. We kill the Swift Spear, then we play Lily, we minus, we force them to play Slick Shot, then they kill Lily, and then we are at the mercy of, you know, top decks. That's my game plan. But we have some really good drops. Well, this is probably the worst we could draw. We only have 3 just to avoid this situation, but we still got it. So we are clearing the board. That's the good part. But now we need to get into this big stuff. If we can flip Vincent, man, we can lifelink a ton. Cory. Oh my god, this was the... Oh my god, this is probably the best draw. They messed it completely, fortunately for us. But we are still top decking horribly. Those 2 draws probably killed us. Our opponent should go for Slick Shot, kill Lily and get the free token and keep pressuring. Here we actually have some breathing room. We just need... If we didn't miss a land on this turn, I think we would be winning. Because we would play Vincent and we would start attacking on the next turn while removing creatures and we would win super hard. But with this full time walk behind, I think we might be done. Of course, they also get a new card while also triggering all of those synergies. At least 2 damage should be devoted to Lily. So at least we, get a little bit more time. And honestly, we are only fighting against lands right now. We should win this game. Alright. There is priority. We don't know if that's Opt, Burst Lightning, or whatever. Oh man, Shelly doesn't die to small stuff. This one has pretty low stats if that's a Burst Lightning. I think I will go still with Shelly because it's more chunky. And it doesn't die to Burst Lightning. If I knew the last card, I could maybe play this, but I cannot risk it right now. I need at least one life gain trigger. I probably will trade against this Sleight of Hand. This could be Burst Lightning, because notice that they actually did not play an instant at the end step, which means it's probably not... Well, yeah, I think it's not opt. They would play it now at least, just to pump the creatures. Monstrous Rage, the card that never changes in Standard. Oh my god, can you stop pumping those creatures, please? I have to swing, I will do the unthinkable, and I will block a red creature. If that's Burst Lightning, it doesn't matter what I block. Let's see. As you can see, Sheoldred also will die to Burst Lightning. Oh boy. But if that's not a way to remove Shelly, and we can survive this turn, maybe? Maybe? We have ways to recover. It was Burst Lightning, so I made all the right calls, but will it even matter? Nope, we are dead. Well, our misplay was not drawing land, so we are one turn behind. And that's, as you can see, enough to get rolled. Alright, we are going first. Man, we can do a lot here. Do we go? Yeah. Let's start strong with Cecil, Dark Knight. And this card is incredibly powerful so far. Like the fact that you can just drop it and already your opponent is so behind, they need to... It's not the card you can just ignore. And let's see what the next draw is. It's kinda important. Okay, this is actually probably the best draw of the deck. It feels like Omniscience deck, so we need to kill it quickly. Alright, it's probably Chart a Course. Yeah, it's definitely... Oh, this is a Mentor deck. I see. Okay, we need to be ready for some killing. Alright, we go for black mana, we swing, we deal as much damage as we can. Of course, we also take the damage. But before we transform it, it's fine. It's crucial to break their curve right now. Okay, so they went with the tap land. Alright, and we have removal as well. So, I mean, we can attack and see what happens. No priority, so they have nothing here. Let's go for the Slasher. On the offensive, Cecil is just insane, man. Like, it just deals damage with no mercy. Alright. Now we can go for Vincent. Okay, I think this is the bomb that will close this game, I think. First we attack, because they can answer a lot, but not all of this at the same time. And soon we will transform. I probably would love to transform first, and then life gain with Vincent, but if we have to, we'll just go for the lethal. You can see how much pressure this card alone did, so now we have lethal on the next turn. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm a little bit rushing this video because I want you to have this video already today. We are not missing a day, and I think we are close to 4 years of daily video streak, alright, and we are not breaking it. However, I still want to share some thoughts with you, because one card from the new ones is unlike the others, and you probably notice which one it is. And I just want to talk about all the new cards. I will give you the feeling, you know, which card performed, which didn't, where I see some options for the future decks, because some of the cards can be absolutely used in a great way in different decks. And yeah, I will just share what I think after playing the games. I didn't play too long, but you know, as much as I could cram so I can make this video, and I already have some thoughts. But before we go there, huge thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting videos like this. And if you, dear viewer, wanted to help make those videos, check out the Patreon, you might like it. And of course, huge thank you to everyone that did this. So first things first, let's start with the best new card. In my opinion, Cecil, Dark Knight. I knew this card will be strong, but I didn't realize how strong it feels. And just so you guys understand, this is not the deck that Cecil was built for. This is supposed to be an aggro card that is super overstated, or something that loses life so it can pump more creatures that, you know, get discount from the low life total, this type of stuff. So this card is designed for those decks. And we're using it as a normal card, as an addition to a normal mono black. And it still very often was the main card that performed. Like, this card won me so many games. alone, the fact that it's a one drop that is game threatening is kinda insane. And you know, I have limited experience with this because of course we are just playing this card today, like it's a fresh card, but so far this was absolutely devastating, and it feels always useful, and very often it actually dominated the whole board. You remember this game with Gruul when they had Fear of Missing Outs that are all 2/3s? Our one drop literally dominated the whole board, and they needed to lose like 3 cards to this. What one drop can do such a thing? Of course, except red ones. So I really like this card. I think it's the best one. Zodiark, on the other hand, actually was basically never useful. I was so hyped for this card, and I know some of you are also. Even though it's 5 mana indestructible, it feels so incredibly slow, especially if you are on the draw. It feels that you will play it in the next game, and I actually managed to make it work once, and instantly it got exiled because there are so many exile and sacrifice effects that go around this indestructible. And I think the biggest downside is rounded down. I think this is what really like makes this card completely just too slow, at least in my experience for current standard, because this means if your opponent has 3 creatures, they only sacrifice 1. If they have 1, they don't sacrifice anything, and I think that's the biggest downside. So this is probably more of a fun card, at least from what I tested today. Vincent is something we also didn't use. I think this will probably be just overshadowed by, you know, Shelly. Sheoldred is just usually a better choice. I like the ability and the fact that you can put counters, but there are so many conditions to make it work that 4 mana 2/2 that dies to Burst Lightning feels incredibly risky. So you have seen in one of the games I had an option, either go Vincent or Shelly. And the choice was obvious, you go Shelly because it's 5 toughness that instantly draws you, instantly life gains. Vincent needs to attack, and you also probably want to remove a creature, so you pump the power before it hits the, you know, the face. So the card has some, like, let's say, potential. I like the card. I love the Vincent character. I played with this character in Final Fantasy, and I wanted to try it, but it feels just too weak compared to the other choices. So, of course, I wouldn't craft those 2, at least for now, but I don't think it will change. The Darkness Crystal. This deck was supposed to be about the Darkness Crystal. This is the card I was the most hyped for, and I just couldn't make it work today. Maybe I need to play more games. I think the card has some potential, but the problem is turn 4 is very slow. So I think it's more like turn 5 play when you play this into 1 mana removal, one of those 2, because they get discounted. The 6 mana effect is super slow but very nice, and it kind of reminds me of Mythic Massacre. Of course, it's not on the same power level, don't get me wrong, but when I saw this card, it was like instantly, alright, I kill creatures, I exile them so the mouse doesn't hit me with Death Trigger, and I gain life. Alright, I want to make it work. However, I think maybe Mono Black is not the shell for it, and still, just to be objective, if you are short on wildcard, this is probably not the card that will see like meta gameplay. I think it's probably the best crystal, I think, but it's probably still too slow because it's 4 mana, you drop it and it does nothing. It also doesn't draw you cards, so that means you need to pair it with something like Annex, and then you are starting to get into this situation when you need to hit a lot of stuff. So this one still has I still a little bit believe in it, but in current standard, 4-drop that doesn't, do something crazy instantly feels very slow. And don't forget, if your opponent doesn't have creatures, it actually doesn't do much, because you need to kill creatures for it to have an effect. And it doesn't hit the tokens, so it's also a downside. So I'm still pretty high. I will make decks with this 100%. I have 2 ideas of this card, with this card, but we will see. But yeah, and the rest is the cards that you know. So honestly, I think Cecil is probably the best card of this deck by far, and this is probably the card that we will be seeing. If you put it in aggro shell that we'll be probably testing at some point, it feels insane. So yeah, I still try to make those cards work. I think this is a decent shell for them, but if you are playing high mythic, because we are like top 1000, top 700, this kind of stuff, as you have seen, basically every game is like mono red. And it's hard to test even decks because I didn't really play against anything slower, and most of the time I just don't need those big bombs that, go for the late game. So guys, this is my honest opinion. I hope it helps you make some decisions. Probably Cecil, pretty safe craft, I would say, especially if you play aggro, but we will see if it lands into some top tier aggro deck or maybe mono red stays, because red decks also got some amazing tools. So it's best to wait like 1-2 weeks so the meta settles, so know what's up. Mono red will not get weaker, and EZ got some insane tools as well. So we will see how it goes. But I hope it helped you. If it did, consider liking and subscribing. It helps the algorithm for YouTube so more people see this video. And yeah, I hope you had great fun. Thank you guys for watching, and see you tomorrow.